The meeting to order for Tuesday, September 5th, 2023. If you would stand and face the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And at this point, we're going to ask George Hack to come up and lead us in a prayer. We had voted a couple of weeks ago to start doing prayer before the meeting. So
let us bow our heads. Father, we're thankful and grateful for this day, for this privilege that you've given us all to come. We ask that your blessings be upon this meeting tonight. We ask that you'd bless our leaders, bless our town, bless our city, and bless all of our first responders. Give us knowledge and wisdom as you did King Solomon. We ask that these blessings be in your name and everyone that's here. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, George.
Thank you, George.
Okay, first item on the agenda is approval of regular meeting minutes from August 21st, 2023. Trust that everyone's had an opportunity to look over those. They were sent out last week. If anyone has any questions or concerns about the minutes.
I make a motion.
A motion by Clayton to approve the minutes. I have a second.
I'll make a second.
Second by Gina. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is approval and ratification of the bills. And everyone got a copy of those last week also to look over before tonight's meeting.
I apologize, I should have asked for beforehand to ask. There's only one I had. It was the economic development for $5,016.28. It's economic, it's on the next to last page,
What's the vendor?
at the top.
That one should be for Leitchfield Utilities. That's where we had to pay for rental on equipment. Right, Sabrina? Wasn't that the, that one invoice we talked about? It was rent, wasn't it?
Yes. Is that the one that Dwight and I discussed? Okay.
Yeah.
That was,
just left over from the hotel project they did, where the cities agreed to pay part on putting the sewer out there and the water and gas or whatever they put out there.
sewer, yeah.
That was one leftover invoice from that. That should
And-
be the end of that. It was still less than the 60,000 that the city originally approved, but that was just the last invoice left over from that.
And we did split that with utilities, and they did extend that sewer line a little farther than originally planned past the hotel. So that was where that part of that expense came from.
So,
Go ahead, Gina.
No, it's a technical question I'll ask about later.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Anyone else have any questions or concerns about the bills? I'll entertain a motion to accept them.
I'll make a motion to accept the bill.
Motion by Billy, second by Clayton. All in
Pay 'em.
favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Visitors at this time, I don't think Scotty,
I never did
Maybe.
hear back from Scotty, so.
I forgot to
I'll
ask
try.
him this morning. I talked to him this afternoon, so I'll make a point to get with him again. We'll skip Mr. Hawkins and we'll go next to Debbie Childers with the Grayson County Alliance.
Thank you, Mayor. I am Debbie Childress, and I'm the Executive Director of the Grayson County Alliance. I've been on staff with the Alliance since 2016. What you may not know, as a 501c3 nonprofit, is that we are independently operated by and governed by a volunteer board. So over the years, many of you have either been a volunteer or been connected with somebody that may have served as a volunteer on our board, and those have been community leaders who have stepped up and given upwards of 6 years in service to the Alliance to forward the mission of our agency. So tonight, I really want to say, first off, thank you. Thank you to the city, because you may not even realize the impact you're already making on the Alliance, but we do. We partner with the Leitchfield Police Department in that we give them impacts and they meet community members that are hungry in the moment and are able to help them with that small bag of food to have alleviate hunger right then, but also point them back to us. And that point of contact is one we would never have without that partnership. Or maybe it's some of you have remembered the traffic jams that we have the potential to create when we're able to give away thousands of pounds of free produce to our community members, or during the pandemic when we were incessantly causing traffic for those people that were in and out still. The help from that is invaluable. We could never thank you enough for that. Or the times that different ones of you have volunteered for us or advocated for us or made a connection for somebody you met that had a need that we could meet. And I guess most recently I could point to the fundraising that we do in the community of our Ducking Hunger that we held just yesterday at our beautiful Leitchfield Aquatic Center, spotlighting this wonderful activity that's available to all of our community and individuals around the area. That was showcased through the video that K105 does for us, and it's great to see that spotlighted. It's such a gem in our community, and Art in the Park being able to host that fundraiser, a community festival that brings the art community together to support not just the Alliance, but to elevate the arts here in our community in the beautiful city park that we have. So those are just a few ways that we acknowledge just right off the top that we're already in partnership with Leitchfield City. But I want to share with you tonight a little bit about our mission, about our impact, and about our future, so that you might better understand what the Grayson County Alliance means to the city of Leitchfield. Our mission can be summed up in 3 simple phrases: feeding our community, teaching life skills, and empowering family stability. We do that through a host of programs. We're mainly known as the Food Pantry or the Food Alliance or any number of food references, but we are here to serve to help meet the needs. We provide basic food support, just 10 to 15% of what average family of Grayson County is 3. We provide about 10 to 15% of the meals they would need for a month. Families come to us and benefit from the USDA commodities. They benefit from what we call food pantry food, which comes from purchases we've made or donations we've received from our community. They receive the senior box, which is an extra box of food that goes to senior adults. The backpack food, where we support children in the school system with a snack bag each weekend. Or the impacts, like I discussed, that the PD and counselors and various churches, different people in the community, anybody. In fact, I even have some here at City Hall now. If somebody shows up having a need of hunger, then the workers here can pass that off and point them back to us. These are the food programs we run. But why do we run a food program? Well, I just want to mention to you some statistics that are current with our census.gov. In Leitchfield, 27.5% of persons are living in poverty. In the county overall, we have a percentage of 18.2%. And I know, because you serve on this council and that you serve in other ways in your community, you feel like I do. That's not a number that can stay. We must do things to combat the poverty in our community to help fewer and fewer people need resources like the food pantry. And that is our theory. I believe if you'd think with me just for a minute, picture a line of dominoes lined up. And when you're having fun with dominoes, there could be any little waiver of things that knocks one down that sends the whole design crashing forward. Well, that's what's happening in people's lives. They think they've got things going on, and all of a sudden, a domino along the way falls down. It might be a job loss, a transportation barrier. It might be a housing barrier. It might be a sudden health crisis. It might be a relationship crisis that happened from their own doing. It might be addiction. It could be any number of things, but when the domino falls, it never falls by itself. So the Alliance is here to pick up the domino of food insecurity. We want to reach down with people and pick that up so that they can focus on other things. But we don't stop with that. We walk alongside families and make connections and referrals. We host meetings and partnership with every meeting we can to be an advocate within the system to help families all along the way. I recently was talking with a young lady that was seeking to do her community service with us, which is a service we offer. And in discussing things with her, one of the barriers in her life was she doesn't have a GED. She's 19 years old and needs a GED to make progress in her goals. So I was able to partner her with the local GED classes because I know those people and she didn't. I could hand her off. It's things like that that we're doing with our referral system. But we're not done with that domino. We're reaching down in the lives of people, even at their taxes. So that tax domino we've been picking up since 2016, where we've been hosting VITA, which is Volunteer Income Tax Assistance, and it's an IRS trained and certified program run by volunteers at the food pantry. And since 2016, we have helped 1,702 families, saving over $56,000 in tax filing fees, but an astounding $2.6 million in tax revenue has come back through our efforts. I'm ecstatic to tell you that I know those dollars are leveraged right here in our community. We had families tell us what they plan to do was prepay their rent. They were going to buy that car that they couldn't afford before. They were going to get adequate transportation. Some said they were going to pay their back child support. Every area of a person's life is impacted when financial stability begins to come into their lives. We all know that on our level of finances. So those families, again, that 18.2% in Grayson County and the 27% in Leitchfield, the city of Leitchfield, poverty is a real problem. And our tax filing program is a real opportunity to help families overcome that. And again, that's a volunteer-driven program. But we don't stop there. If you thought we were just a food pantry, we are not. We're looking for creative ways to impact the financial bottom line of our citizens. We have, since way before I came, done the Senior Farmers Market Voucher Program with the USDA. We don't get paid to run this program. But we run this program because senior citizens here in Grayson County deserve as much access to fresh produce as possible, and our local farmers are the best providers. So just in 2023, we distributed 250 $50 voucher cards, totaling $12,500 impact for the senior and the farmer here in Grayson County. We do it because our seniors are at such a risk. One of our seniors told me, she said, I don't even buy that many canned fruits anymore because it's so expensive. That fixed income puts our senior adults at such a risk for food insecurity, and they are known for skipping the meals and paying the bills. And it's one of the younger generations, you could flip-flop that as far as statistically. But we've got to help our seniors. They worked hard to get where they are, and we want to keep them healthy. But we don't stop there. Are you surprised to hear that? We don't stop there. We believe strongly in the domino of education. Picking that up, coming alongside families, and we've done it for years. Way before I came along, in our 23-year history, has nutrition classes been a key element of what the Alliance does. During the pre-pandemic, we would have health department, we would have various community partners, extension would be there, just offering informational classes. One day the health department was offering car seat safety. And an older gentleman came in, because at that time you came in early and you got served first if you went to class. And he sat down, he said, is this that class about falling down? I said, no, because we don't want anybody falling down at the pantry. He stayed. And at the end of the class, he took the educator out to his car and said, will you check that car seat because I pick up my grandchild. So you don't know what you don't know till you know it. And the Alliance wants to be known as a place in the community that you can get quality education for every aspect of life. We have had a pilot program called Money Habitudes in this past year in a partnership with Extension through a pilot grant I wrote. And this focuses on the behavioral science behind the choices of the habits and the attitudes that we have, all of us, regarding money. And from that perspective, you can make wise choices. If you know you're a spender, then you've got to put your guard up when you're in an opportunity to spend. But once you learn about your own personality traits regarding habits and attitudes around spending, you can make decisions about budgets and saving and goals and plans and futures that you could never do before. So this pilot program is something we want to further, and we're going to do that because of the renovation that we're under. I'm thankful to be able to have already shared with you all some of the steps we've made in our renovation. It's an amazing thing. We are thrilled to say that we have heat and air, and I'm just bragging. It is the first time the Alliance has had a home that's our own and designed to do for us to do what we do and give us opportunity to expand our reach for the community, to expand to what dominoes we can pick up in the future. The 700 to 750 families that we're serving each month are benefiting already from the environment we're creating, but we can't wait for this next step. The renovation is going to equip us with a fantastic space to learn and to bring more community partners back into our facility. You saw in your photos where our kitchen has gone from a dark, dingy hole in the warehouse to a bright, beginning to see kitchenette. This classroom, meeting room, kitchen will be a great place for all of us to learn. We'll target the clients of the food pantry, but then we'll reach out into our community and say, join us, partner with us. You were looking for a class on parenting, we're holding one. You were looking for a class on financial literacy, join us with this. We'll train coaches and mentors to help people along the way. We are committed to Grayson County. We are committed to the city of Leitchfield, as are the volunteers that come alongside us. There are thousands of hours given by hundreds of people right here in this community to help us further our mission. And that's why I can say we've maintained a 4% overhead in our facility. That means 96 cents of every dollar given to the Alliance goes to the supportive services of our community. I'm very proud of that. And I'm proud of the people that we work alongside each week. These folks give, give, give. And like I said, we have an all-volunteer board. We serve these government programs, but outside of some of the pandemic monies that were given to nonprofits, we do not receive government funds. We are privately funded through individual donations, groups, grants, foundations, and our 3 fundraisers. We seek all year long to raise the funds to do the things we need to do and the things we dream of doing. We've been currently working on our renovation project since 2020. Honestly, the day that everything got shut down was the day we were supposed to be announcing our renovation project at the Chamber Luncheon. I truly believe, even though the Alliance is a secular agency, I'm a believer. And I know that even that was in God's hands because the Alliance was able to shift every aspect of our programs. We never closed one day. We never stopped serving our community in every capacity. In fact, we ramped up in everything we did. And we did it because folks came alongside us and helped us do that. But we started raising funds back then, and we've had people designate funds to support this renovation project. And over the past couple years, we've had 66,000 funds designated from individuals, groups, foundations, and our fiscal court. This project is not done by any means. And we hope by the end of this year that we'll have a big ribbon cutting and be celebrating the completion of everything. But we're still trying to fully fund this project. Our project manager, Marvin Patterson, he's on our board. We estimate another $180,000 to $200,000 is still needed to fund this outside of the Alliance. So tonight, I'm really coming to make sure you know who we are, what our impact is here in the Grayson County, and how you all can potentially help us further that impact by investing in us. We're asking, as we did of the fiscal court, that you all would consider giving us $25,000 towards our renovation project so that we can continue to serve the citizens of Leitchfield 23 years is a long proven history of who we are, and you can count on that's who we'll remain as we go forward with new programming, new opportunities to walk alongside our friends and neighbors and pick up as many dominoes along the way as we can. I appreciate your time tonight, and I do appreciate each of the efforts that's been made through the city. And I would be glad to answer any question.
Thank you, Debbie. Does anyone have any questions for Debbie at this time? I think what we'll do with the request, if the council is agreeable to it, Debbie, is we'll table this until we can have some time. And there are some legal matters that we've included in their packet as far as donations and what we can and can't do.
Sure.
That they need to become familiar with.
Well,
So,
I appreciate the opportunity to come and speak, but I would like to also offer you all to have any of your council meetings at the Alliance and come see for yourself what's happening out there and the changes we're making and the good things we're doing.
okay.
Thank you.
Maybe we
Thank
can
you,
do that
Debbie.
some- thank you.
Appreciate you.
Is that agreeable to
That's
everyone?
agreeable with me, Mayor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys. Next up, we have Miss Tammy Salzman.
How are you all this evening? I'm coming to you tonight to ask your permission to purchase a 2017 Toyota Tacoma. It's an extended cab. This purchase is for Terry Ashley. I've gone to the tourism board in hopes that they would pay a portion of it, but they requested that I come to you first. Terry at this time is driving a truck that is very, very old. It's in the 90s. Has some issues. It does function, but we don't know how long it'll function. He travels back and forth from the aquatic center. I know it's closed now, but in the summer he had no AC, but he still continued to make his journey here every day, sometimes 2 times a day. But the truck itself has 91,000 miles. It was only a one owner. They're asking $23,300 for it, and I have in my budget where I was going to reseal the Bevel parking lot, and I talked to the budget committee about that, that I was going to take that money and move it over to purchase this truck for Terry. I feel it's a need. He does do a lot of traveling, and to be honest with you, he's done a lot of work for the pool. If it wasn't for him, we would have probably have had to close 3 weeks ago. So I'm asking if you guys would be willing to allow me to do that.
I'm not understanding. What's tourism? It got turned down in the budget meeting, right?
No, it didn't get turned down, it was tabled.
His truck didn't.
Budget.
Originally, we met this
Originally.
afternoon.
The original.
to-
Originally.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
you met this
we
afternoon.
met
Yeah,
this-
we
Yeah,
met
we
this
met this
afternoon.
Yeah, it was originally turned down to purchase 2 vehicles, so they decided we'd purchase one for Keith because his was a Ranger and it was just
And where's he
literally-
live?
He lives in
Briar
Beast
Creek.
Springs.
Bee Springs?
Yeah.
Briar Creek down
Briar
below
Creek.
Bee Springs, yeah. He comes in during pool season, usually 7 days a week. And the situation he's in now, to get heat, he has to raise the hood and turn a valve. To get air, he has to raise the hood and turn another valve.
Turn it off.
And
Yeah. Oh,
the truck is, as Scotty said earlier, it was pulled out of the weeds and freshened up a little bit for him to drive. It wasn't anything we were using. It's got 200-some thousand miles.
So we're responsible for 17,000 of it?
It would actually be, it's 23,300, and I'm looking to, I only have like 10,000 in my budget to do that, so I was going to the tourism.
I
to
thought I
get that.
heard something about tourism.
You did.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
going to go to tourism for the rest.
She's wanting you all to do 10,000
Because the pool's
and then
take, oh, you're wanting to
13,300.
do 10 from us?
Yes, 10 from us, so it will come from my budget, just taken from the resealing of the parking lot, and I'll just do that, hope to do that the next year.
What do we need to do with that, Sabrina, to do that? Amend it?
If you all are good with approving it, we don't have to amend it if you're not gonna seal the parking lot.
Does
If
it,
you're not gonna seal the parking lot this year, then you won't have to amend it. You can just move that was set to seal the parking lot. She can use that for the truck instead.
can we wait a year to seal it?
Yeah, I
I mean,
think we can.
who's guided you on we can wait?
I'm pardon?
Who's told you we could wait a year?
It's just by what I went by looking at it. Basically, to reseal it was, the lines are kind of dim, and repainting, it's been sitting that way for a couple of years now, so with this falling in my lap, I was hoping to be able to do this, unless you want to amend the budget and give me the 10,000, and I'll still reseal the parking lot.
I had asked about that because I wasn't clear on which part we were talking about, because we had talked about the safety issues with the softball area down below. That's not what she's talking about. It's the upper part where the pavilion is, not resealing that part and striping
Where the
it.
playground structure is.
So, because with
And-
safety issues below, I wasn't.
I've got a question.
Okay.
On the budget, you had asked for playground equipment in the amount of $602,720. And that was marked through. And I had a note out here that it was applied to the rec center. Do you remember that?
Mm.
No, what you probably wrote down was where the tourism was going to pay a portion of that, but they were not gonna put it to the playground equipment. They didn't, just during their meetings and just in their talking, it didn't sound like they were gonna put that strictly to that. So they said that they were expecting to have to maybe put some funding towards the rec center, so they wanted to hold that money there. But I think they're using some of that for some other projects. But they do have half that set aside to help the city and the Parks and Rec and stuff like that.
So that wasn't money that we had
No,
set aside that was moved towards the rec center? Okay.
that was not approved. That was nowhere in the budget. It was just took out.
So the aquatic center has him 4 or 5 months a year, and then Wesley, you have him the other time?
He's split between Parks and Rec and Public Works.
Right, but how many months he work for you?
Well, it's like as needed for Public Works.
Because he'll be as needed at the park too, like Christmas at the park and stuff like that. He'll have to help Keith and all that stuff too, so he's back and forth.
I guess what I'm getting at is we got a lot of people driving vehicles.
And right now, he's helping
But-
JD mow on Wednesday.
Maybe something we need to look at as a group, as far as vehicles.
Is a what? I couldn't hear you down here.
Yeah, I can't hear him either.
As a group, I mean, maybe decide policy.
On vehicles, on driving, taking on vehicles.
I think that's a valid question, on take-home vehicles. A good portion of the year, though, Terry would need one because of the standby issues with the aquatic center and everything, but that's something we can look at for sure. I'm not opposed to that, but
I mean, you see where I'm at, he switches over to Public Works, and then he's Public Works.
He technically doesn't really switch.
Employee.
He's just like on call. My budget, tourism pays a
Right,
portion
you-
of it, and then my budget pays a little more than what Public Works does, but we thought it'd be utilized, he could utilize them for electrical and other things as needed.
So what does tourism take care as far as his salary?
Yeah, yeah.
Tourism takes care of, from, is it March 1st through October 1st?
I believe so.
That's what I'm
That's
thinking.
when tourism pays for his salary. After that, he is coded 100% to Parks and Rec. However, Public Works pays like $5 an hour so that he can kind of be on standby for them. So actually, Public Works pays the entire time $5 an hour, the whole year. Because if he's working at the pool and they need somebody to help with electrical or they need help, then he can go to the Public Works Department and help them too. So that's how that all works. It's a fund reimbursement.
split his salary, in other words, year-round instead of by.
Splitting
by
5 months
time.
versus
Yeah.
7, okay.
Yeah, and if I, if we're working on it, something that needs some help, he's available to us. So, anytime that we need something, like electrical or anything like that, we can use him for that or stuff, so it just makes it easier for us to have him.
So you're saying he has several trades that benefit us
Yes.
here in the
Yes.
city?
Yes.
That is what you're saying?
He's a licensed electrician, he's HVAC guy, that's what he did before he came here, he's a concrete guy, he's
Yeah.
jack of all trades, really.
Call him anytime, he'll be here.
Yep.
Is there any crisis with the ceiling west, you feel?
the ceiling?
Have you looked on sealing the
Seal the parking
blacktop?
lot.
Oh, on the ceiling? I haven't actually looked at it to tell, but, I mean, it's been, I don't know, how many years has it been there, I guess?
I think it was done back when I first started
Yeah. Has
as
it been
director
sealed
back in
once already?
2018, I believe.
Has it been sealed once already?
It was not.
It was when I originally, because Keith went in and did all the painting, the stripes and everything on it.
Yeah. So, but I don't know, I mean, I can look at it and see, but, I mean, I don't think it's got any issues as far as cracks or anything like that, it's just, normal wear.
It's just moving money. I don't really have a problem with it, but I do.
So do y'all make a recommendation?
I was gonna
Yeah,
say-
I'm okay with it. I would like to see us establish a policy, though, on who gets a take-home vehicle. I mean, I think that we establish the criteria, this is what you got to meet before you get a take-home down the road. But as far as this, I don't have any problem with her transfer, in my opinion, so
I'll make a motion that we approve the $10,000 and pending the tourism picking up the rest of it.
Okay.
And I started to say, if he's seen that and seen it was a problem, but you can't do that. So I'll leave it at that, that if,
Okay.
make a motion that we that we approve the transfer of the money from the ceiling to that and pending the tourism doing the difference.
I second it.
I got a question. So
Yes.
how much was your money for sealing the parking
It was
lot?
a little over $10,000.
A little over 10,000. Okay. That's all I had.
Okay, we've got a motion on the table and a second by Clayton. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Okay, my next thing is, since fall ball became a go, we were able to make enough teams to have fall ball. Asking in the budget we have contract labor for Natasha Nutt and as the director for fall ball. I would like to take $2,000 from my employee salary and move it over to 73650. Is that contract labor, correct?
It is.
So you already had that in there? to-
Yes, yes. So I'd like to see if I can have a motion to move that money over so that we can pay Natasha for her services.
How long is fall ball?
6 weeks.
How many, both parks?
Softball
Girls
did
and
not,
boys?
softball did not do it this year, it's just baseball.
Is she your director of who, of what?
Baseball.
Did you offer it to softball?
Yeah, that it was up to the board. And I asked them earlier if they wanted to do fall ball, and I received no response.
Who's your director there?
At the time, right now, it's Alan Dotson. He had stepped up because the other one had stepped down.
So you short members on that board?
On softball,
Both?
I'm short one member on baseball because Bryce had to step down because his plate was kind of full. And then I do have a lady that has messaged me requesting to step into that position. But right now at softball, I think we have enough board members. We just need a softball director.
Would that work, Sabrina?
You actually don't, I had spoke to Tammy about this because, I see the baseball director and I didn't know. When you and I talked, I thought you said it wasn't in your budget, because I said it's not in, is this in your budget? If it's in your salaries and labor,
Yeah.
you don't actually have to ask them. And
I thought you meant, was it in a
if you have-
contract, but in the contract area, but I apologize, misunderstanding.
If you have money in your budget for this wasn't something that was strictly turned down, and it's not a big ticket item as far as that goes. You really don't have to amend it. I mean, you all do whatever you want,
But we wouldn't be amended it anyway, would we?
No.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That one, you're not really.
Then it was a miscommunication. I thought you had said that it was not.
So
in
it was
there.
already in her salary budget
I don't
anyway?
know.
I just have to
I'm
move
not
it.
saying that, because I did not look. If she says it's in there, because she just said that, then it's in there. But I did not specifically look before I came to this meeting, because I thought we were amending the budget for it, not moving the money. So I would have to look to see for sure if it was in there, but if you're certain it's in there.
Yes,
Because
for
I
my,
don't remember putting a fall director in.
I don't
so
either.
we didn't. But,
We didn't in salaries and labor.
I don't remember talking about that either.
The reason I'm asking, because if we did put it in salaries and labor in the labor worksheet, because you told me you needed.
A lot's been going on since then, so I can't really tell you.
Yeah, so when you tell them that it's in there, it may not.
My job, for my, what I added up, it should be in there for that.
Okay, so does that, I mean, y'all can do something if you want, but if she doesn't.
So if we vote on it right now and it ain't in there, I'm sorry, ain't any good word, but, and it's not in there, it's not in her budget, do we have to come back then and amend?
If you all want to.
Or move.
If it's not in there, that you all approve to amend it, then that would be better for a safety net in case it's not in there. But if she's just asking to move, then you don't need anything, so it's just whatever.
But if she came up short at the end of the year, if this wasn't in there and came up short, we would have to amend it at that
Right, you would
point.
have to amend it at that point, and that's what I was worried about when I seen the invoice come through. I was afraid at the end of the year, she wasn't gonna have enough money in salaries and labor to pay the rest of her employees, so I recommended to take it to you all to amend. But that's-
Yeah, if she
There's a
don't,
difference in amending
if she
and-
thinks she's got it, I'll make the motion to accept it. And then we get to the end of the year, it's on her.
I second it.
Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
All right, thank you.
Okay,
Do you
Lori,
want
do
to
you
go
have?
over the?
You got one more, Tammy?
more.
Got one more
the-
thing, Tam.
You got
the
the opening,
fencing?
bid
Tammy, do you
opening.
wanna go over that?
The bid came in for baseball, the fencing for the pickleball, I apologize, and the only bid we received was from Lifeguard Fencing, and it was $8,800. Since that's the only one we received, say we go ahead and accept it. It was a lot less than what we originally had thought.
I'll make a
Okay,
motion.
we have a motion, so
I'll make a motion, we
Gina?
accept it.
I got a second.
What'd Gina say?
I make a
If she
motion
makes
that we accept the lighting bid that came in.
The
Fencing.
Oh, fencing, my bad, I had lighting on the brain. Fencing,
Fencing.
fencing, yes.
You still second Tootie?
Yes.
All right, you got a second by Tootie, all in favor?
All right.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you, Tammy.
And just for everybody to know, we talked about this in the meeting. Tourism did vote to go ahead and leave their full amount. Do you remember what it was? Was it
86, it seems
86,
like, something like that.
87,000 in there for expenses when they did their meeting the other day. So just so you all know
And we
that.
talked about lighting then, Billy, I didn't just make it up.
And benches.
And benches.
Yeah.
We need to bid benches.
I can't hear y'all. Can you get headsets? Could y'all,
My mic is now on, Billy, Mr. Dallas. But we do have, we do need benches, like 4 6-foot benches that I think we need to bid that out too, since it's all part of the project, in my opinion.
All right. Is anyone else Mr. Penner, do you want to address the council? Yeah. Okay. Now, I'll come up here
No, we'll
because
have to
it all needs to be on record here, so.
Yeah, the people listening outside to the live video can't hear if we're not
They can-
talking into the microphone.
you're like on TV.
Now, a lot of y'all know I'm here, I'm sure. And the reason I'm here, have you heard anything lately what y'all gonna do? And the reason I'm asking this, I come home this afternoon, and I know Jeannie and Danny and Terry don't know what's going on, but it stunk so bad up there, I had to go in the house.
Yeah.
Something's gotta be done. Now, I'm coming to the cities to get help. If I can't, I go to the county and get help. If that don't work, I go to state and get help. If that don't work, I'm gonna go to federal, because this has gotta stop. Now, we're always so far on that building down there. Now, I got a picture here. Have y'all been down there lately?
I know what it is.
Did somebody call you today?
No.
Okay. Now, I done some talk to some people today, and they said, come down here and first talk to y'all. But where do we stand now? Now, I live about 100 feet from there, and I got garbage piled up, and I got pictures here to show it. I talked to Clayton, I talked to Tootie, and I think you know about it.
Yeah, but I haven't talked to you.
No, you haven't talked to me, but I heard some things you said.
I don't
But I
know
talked to the
what.
mayor
From
one
who?
time, and I want to give you credit on that. He's a good mayor. He's helped me out so far. but we need to go farther. But are we gonna tear that down? Are we gonna build a new building? Are we gonna move? I need to know something.
I think our plans are right now is to build an additional building
Yeah,
to alleviate some of the commercial stuff and the residential stuff to kind of keep it separated. I hope to be able to build a fence, a sizable fence between that and you
Yeah.
to catch some of that that's blowing up the hill. The smell, correct me if I'm wrong, Wes, but I think some of that smell, we've had issues several times in the last few months with the people that haul it out of our area
yeah, I understand.
to Ohio County.
Yeah.
Trucks been broke down, things like that, and that's when it piles up. That's when we see it pile up. So we're kind of at the point now
Yeah.
to where this group that we've contracted with,
Yeah.
if they can't give us some assurances that they can get that out there in a timely manner, we're gonna have to break the contract and find someone else to do it, because,
You said something about trucks, I think this is where you said something on Facebook. It was piled up one time, I put it on Facebook. Within 6 hours, it was straightened up. Now, I'm gonna be like this with your trucks. If y'all got a company hauling that stuff off, and 2 or 3 trucks is all y'all got, that ain't very good business. But you ought to find somebody that, I don't know how much y'all giving, I can pretty guess it's over $100,000 a year. But if you're gonna pay that many people to haul that junk off, they ought to have more than 2 or 3 trucks.
Well,
Now, if they
we-
did have a truck to break down, they ought to have someone pull right in there. Now, am I right or wrong?
I think you're right. I think that's the reason that's the reason
Three
we,
breakdown, didn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, they did at that.
Well, they
time.
ought to have 7 or 8 trucks then. I don't go for this truck breaking down.
yeah.
People, I come in there, I seen Tootie out there, he said, what are you doing here? I said, come here and talk about this garbage. I said, it stunk so bad today, I couldn't stand it. Well, that's what hot weather does. No, it wasn't, Tootie, it was a junk. I'm sorry I'm getting aggravated, but I want something done. Now, that building, and I got a map here I had drove out. Now, that building, I live right here, that building down there is right down about 100 feet from it. Can y'all move that thing in the back? Is that y'all plan, or are you gonna keep it in the same place?
We're in the planning stages now, but I think we would keep that in the same place and build another building, probably the same dimensions beside it. Or actually maybe catty-cornered. We've talked about some different things. One of the things we're getting held up on a little bit is the bypass is gonna take a good part of our entrance over there. So I met with the State Highway Department last week, and we've talked to them about maybe getting another entrance exit on the bypass. I don't know if that's gonna be available to us or not. We're just gonna have to sit down with them and sweet talk them a little bit, because right off the collar, they said, can't do that. But we're gonna try to keep working with them to where we can get something that we can use. But I think the biggest concern about the smell, I think, is gonna be, are we gonna get the trucks in and out of there to haul it out that we're contracted to get? If we don't, we're gonna have to go another route. I think that's the only option to that, because we were down to what, one truck
Yeah,
for a few
and,
weeks?
You know, and today, I think they told me whenever I checked this afternoon, they hauled 10 loads out there today.
Okay.
And we took in 170 ton of trash, which is more than they hauled out in a day's time. So we're taking in more than they can haul, because it takes roughly an hour to load a load, so you're looking at 10, 11 hours just on the loads we hauled. So, I mean, even if we had more trucks, can't load them any faster.
I can understand that, I really can. But if you've got a big company that's working for the city like it, shouldn't they have some kind of backup? Huh?
But, and even if they send us more trucks, you know, it takes so long to load one, so.
I
we
mean,
run-
this
we run out of
company,
time.
this company y'all paying, is only job he's got is serving Grayson County? Is there
No.
other counties?
Yeah, they've got other places other than ours too.
But you would think, I don't go for his truck stuff, I really don't. I can see a truck breaking down. But a lot of times you're gonna have to have a backup or something to help you do that. And the only thing I'm saying, Turkey Thompson, this is how long it's been, you all. Turkey Thompson come up there one time. He said, what y'all want to talk to me about? He said, oh, I know now. We'll take care of it. How long's that been? Then you got Rick Henry, the big mayor, comes up there. So I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. He sends a guy down from Evansville to talk to him. Can I be straight with this? Can I be straight with y'all?
Sure.
Can I be honest with you? I hope you're honest with me. But he said, Joel, I'm gonna tell you something. Ricky Emmers is the mayor down here. And if you think he's gonna do anything to help you up on this hill that costs some money, he's not gonna do it. Church, this ain't about money. This is about me. That's my mom and dad's home. We was there before the city ever got there, so don't blame me for living there. But I've been looking up some stuff. Pollution. They got your landfills, and they call it can ruin your ground, right? Well, I checked in there. Do you know what's going on down there? Can ruin the pollution of the air. Now, I got some numbers I'm going to be calling if I don't go help you all. And I'm going to be like this. You said something about taking another route. And I heard you're going to build a new building, and I know you got the money coming in, and that's okay. But I hadn't heard nothing for a while.
Yeah.
But I said, I got to come down here tonight. Because if y'all build that building, where I talk to you all, and it still stinks, what we going to do then? Tear the building down? This is one time when you do it right the first time, and you won't have to do it again.
That's
Now,
what
if y'all
our,
want to get in the car, we go on the hill right now, and you can't even stand it.
I was over there last week.
You
It
was
was
over
bad
there.
last week too, yeah.
You was over there,
Yes.
and Clayton's helped me out quite a bit on this. And I know you and Terry there, you ain't been around very long. But I put the blame on you all.
Well, we're,
Just work on it. Harold, you've been good to me. You got all the garbage picked up, but something's got to be done. Now, I did tell Clayton this. I'm going to put a little secret under your hat. City, if you want to buy me out, I won't pay you again. You come up there and buy the whole hill out. Then you can let her stake all you want.
well, your neighbors may not appreciate that either.
And
so-
they won't, but then they'll come down here to play, don't they?
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. Let's do it right the first time.
Yeah.
Don't pass the buck.
Well, our intention is to get it fixed, and that's one of the reasons we're making a pretty big investment over there.
Yes.
Is to try to alleviate the overflow of it, try to keep it off of your property up that way, off the hill. And we have actually started looking at things and talking about things.
I
but
know
it's
you have, Harold. You was up there the other day, way my land is, the city owns all the way up on the left side, all the way on the back side, and down to the right side. I'm stuck in the middle. And you remember we walked around, and a lot of the city trees, I got two fences on both sides, they're collapsed, where the city trees is a field on them. And you said something about you're gonna get those
We'll
up.
try
there,
to get
clean
those
that up.
taken down
We
too,
need to
yes.
do that too.
Yeah.
Now, I'm gonna be like this, and I don't mean to make nobody mad, but if y'all get on there and tell everybody else to keep their houses clean, keep their lot clean, then you need to do yours.
I agree.
Well, a lot of ladies shaking your heads, I'm glad to see that. I won't say nothing else, but keep in touch with me, will you?
I will.
Because, like I said, I don't know how far I'm gonna go with this. I got some things I'd like to show you, but I'm not. But there's got to be somebody in the city, in the state, in the federal, that can help me. Because I can't afford no lawyer. I can't fight this thing.
Are they
We don't want
something
you-
you need to show us?
No, I'm gonna wait and see what y'all, but I would like for y'all to get together sometimes and talk about, is it better to, and if I'm not mistaken, I think you said that building was made, built on, right?
Out the front.
Out front.
It could be, but I don't think that's gonna help us. If we're not able to load 2 trucks at a time, where we could get more trash hauled, the way it's set up now with 1 truck at a time is all we can load. You only have so many hours a day that you can do that. The landfill closes at certain hours, so when we get as many as we can get out, and trash is still piling up, we're taking more in than we can get rid of.
Y'all, I understand
But
that.
if we build another building, then we'd be loading 2 at a
We'll
time.
be loading 2 at a time.
But this guy, and see if I ain't right on this, do we not have more volume coming in than we can handle?
Yeah, we do right now. We're taking more in than we can get out at
Or
one time.
if you just add another truck, is that gonna take care of that much?
It's gonna help a little, especially if one breaks down, but
That's
that's
where
about
y'all
it.
missing the point. This little ain't gonna help.
Yeah, that's all it's gonna
I
help.
talked to a guy today, and he said, "Well, we get that all clean, but you might smell it every once in a while. Do I really have to live with that too? What's the difference smelling one day a week, 5 days a week? I
Well-
couldn't sell that place up there if I wanted to.
Yeah. Well, we're working toward that, and Wes and I've talked, Scotty and I've talked. You know, when the contract was originally signed with the
Right.
people from Ohio County, it calls for so many trucks, right, Wes? So many trucks a day. A lot of days we haven't gotten that. So, like I said, and I have talked to other companies
Yeah.
that do that to see what their prices are and what they would do.
Right.
Because if this company's not gonna fulfill their agreement,
Yeah.
then we need to find somebody that will, in my opinion.
So I'm assuming it smells worse when it's full than when the building's empty.
It does.
You're right there. I noticed today,
I mean,
and I mean, it's sticking out about 30 feet out of that building.
yeah.
They got them big trucks up there, and it, excuse my language on this, but you had a little poopy there, it stinks of it. But you let it dry out, you can't smell it. But you take a little stir it up, the stinks again. That's what it's doing. And they had tractors down there, they moving that stuff. I ain't kidding you. You couldn't even stay outside, they got on your clothes. And I'm not fighting this for 2 or 3, no, I've been fighting this for 11 years.
Yeah.
And if we got more stuff coming in than we can handle, well, either quit bringing it in or make a bigger place. And where the building is now, back there on the right side, you've got a lot of land up there where you burn tires and stuff. You could build it up there. And that way, if the wind blows, there ain't no houses up there. Wouldn't that make sense?
Somebody's burning tires?
Well, y'all got big zones, I don't know what you're doing up there.
I don't know how many tires we've burned.
Yeah,
Well, you might not, I'll take that back. But you got a lot of wood and stuff up there.
Yeah.
Well,
Well-
I don't know what they're doing, but it's hard enough to hold them
Yeah.
off.
And our hope is too, is if we get another building there, and the initial thought for me was to separate commercial and industrial stuff. And we can accommodate, and we can get that stuff in the buildings inside where it's not blowing all over the place, where it's not, I don't know that would
What-
cure the stink, but it will.
Wesley, is the landfill that's covered still venting?
our landfill, yeah, it's still vented.
So we're still venting there anyway. From where, when I was a kid, there was a landfill there.
Yeah.
So you could
methane
get some
gas-
smell from that.
Yeah, well, methane gas vents is what they are, and they haven't been, anything come out of them for many, many, many years now. I mean, you would tell, because the grass would die, different things around it, but
So when you drive by the vents, you can't smell them?
No.
Gotcha.
no.
But
Well,
I would
that
say
part of
too,
it's-
Joe,
it's
today
been
might
over
have been
30
worse
years.
because it sat there over the weekend. And I know, because I mow down there every week.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I know today was worse because we didn't have any movement for the holiday weekend. And then when they did get in there to move it today, like you said, it just really stirred it up.
Yeah.
And then, yes, I see the big piles, I see that.
Yeah.
But we do move it as quickly as it can be moved.
I'm sure you
And
do.
like he said, when we get the other building in there, then it will be separated and hopefully won't be running out of the building. And then we can look at the contract like he talked about. And if they're not able to fulfill their end of it, then get somebody who can. And I think that will alleviate most of it. Now, it's never gonna be, in my opinion, completely, it's not gonna smell like roses. It's not.
Oh,
But it won't
Garbage.
be,
Garbage is gonna smell.
garbage is gonna smell. But today, yes, it was worse because it sat there over the weekend.
yeah.
But I know what you're talking about. I see it every week where
Yeah.
it's coming out of
And I'm
there.
not arguing about that.
Right, but I
Stink's
think,
gonna stink, but why, move it away from my house where I can't smell it? Now, y'all can do that if you would. Don't tell me you can't, you can do that. Now, you might have to spend a little bit more money, because we know how money talks, don't we? Yeah, you get somebody's pocket though, just like that guy said about Ricky. Joe, they'll never spend a penny to help you. I hope y'all ain't like that.
We don't plan to be. We want to help everybody in the city that we can, in any way
I know
we
you-
can.
You got a good family, you do too. Love your dad.
I was lucky.
We'll,
But I wasn't aiming to get mad or anything, but let me tell you something. Y'all could fix this right if you would. And like I said, I'm just not gonna stop here if I have to.
Well,
I
give
just
us-
didn't want y'all to build a big building this, and I still go out there, and I'm like this, if I smell it once a month, I shouldn't even have to put it with that, and y'all know that. Y'all know that surely.
Well, it's probably not an ideal location now.
You're right. No, but I was there first.
Yeah, I understand
Don't
that.
blame me.
No, I'm
Don't blame
not
my dad
blaming.
because he built that house.
Yeah,
Location was y'all's fault.
yeah, you're
Can't
right.
y'all admit that?
Yeah, I think there were, rather than in the middle of town, I think we could have, but I don't know the situation when it was built. I really don't. I don't know what the options were. I don't know what ground was available, so.
I talked to somebody today, and I ain't gonna tell you who it was, I told them I wouldn't mention no names. And she said, I can't believe they put something like that in city limits. I don't know if it's a law or not.
I don't know. Like I say, I wasn't around
I
when it
know you
was
can't put
created.
I know you can't put a landfill in city limits.
Yeah.
Did y'all know that?
That's why we don't have one.
Yeah, right. But we can keep the garbage there, but we can't bury it. What's the difference? In the landfill, you're doing the ground. I forgot what they call that word. I ain't very smart. But what they're doing now is you're polluting the air. And people like me and people down below me smells that. And I know I can go somewhere and take care of that if y'all don't. I'm not threatening. Lock that off.
Yes, the only thing I'd
Testing,
ask,
1, 2, 3.
the only thing I'd ask, Joe, give us the opportunity to
I
do
will.
better.
I will. And get back
And
with me, Harold.
I'll come see
And
you.
like I said, since he started, he got all that garbage, he took care of all of that. He got the jail people down from him, did all of that. And it's staying picked up too. But when I got home, and it's been like that also, when I got home today, I couldn't even stand it. And that really kind of got me started tonight. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days just to shake it off, don't it? But y'all
Well,
help me with it,
give us the
Bill.
opportunity and I'll come see you and we'll work on it, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Anyone else in the crowd? George? Yes, okay. All right. All right, guys, we'll move on in the agenda then. Second and final reading of the ordinance relating to ad valorem taxation and imposing a bank franchise and local deposit tax for 2023.
Whereas the City of Leitchfield is a municipal corporation of the Home Rule class in the Commonwealth of Kentucky, and whereas City of Leitchfield is required by the Kentucky revised statutes to annually by ordinance provide for the assessment of all property within the corporate limits of the city and levying an ad valorem tax thereon, and whereas the City of Leitchfield is authorized by Chapter 136 of the KRS to impose a bank franchise and local deposit tax, be it ordained by the City of Leitchfield, Kentucky, Section 1A, that ad valorem tax for 2023 of 12 cents for each 100 valuation is hereby levied on all motor vehicles, and a 21.99 cents of each 100 of other personal property, and a 17.1 cents of each 100 worth of property is hereby levied on all lands, improvements held or owned by any person, firm, company, corporation, or association in his, hers, theirs, or its name, or a fiduciary or agent, and subject to taxation under the laws of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, located in Leitchfield, Kentucky, including all property and franchises heretofore and thereafter assessed by the Department of Revenue, the State Board of Evaluation and Assessment, and Railroad Commission, which assessments to the extent applicable shall be adopted by the city. Taxes realized from said levy shall be deposited into the general fund of the city and utilized for general municipal purposes as determined by the city council. B, that the taxes hereby levied in this section shall become due and payable 30 days after the tax bill has been mailed, and if any tax bill is not paid 30 days thereafter, the tax shall be declared delinquent and shall be subject to a penalty of 6% and shall bear interest at the rate of 6% per annum until paid. A discount of 2% shall be allowed on all taxes if paid prior to 30 days from the date tax bills are mailed. The taxes imposed herein shall be payable at City Hall, 515 South Main Street, Leitchfield, Kentucky, during regular business hours. C, that the collection of taxes, interest, and penalties shall be the duty of the city tax collector, who shall bill the taxes by mailing a statement to taxpayers. The city clerk treasurer is designated herein as the city tax collector. D, that for each calendar year, the assessment date for all properties located within the corporate limits of Litchfield, Kentucky shall be January 1st, and the valuation of property subject to taxation shall be insofar as is applicable the same assessed value is assessed by the Grayson County Property Valuation Administrator, who shall receive the fees provided by law for furnishing such assessments to the city. To the extent applicable, the assessments provided by the State Department of Revenue, the State Board of Evaluation and Assessment, and Railroad Commission shall be adopted by the city. Section 2, there is hereby imposed on all financial institutions as defined in KRS Chapter 136 located within the corporate limits of the city of Litchfield, Kentucky for the 2023 tax year and all subsequent years, a franchise tax at the rate of 0.025% on all deposits as defined by KRS Chapter 136 maintained by such financial institutions. B, the city of Litchfield will issue tax bills to financial institutions no later than December 1st of each year. Payment of the tax shall be due with a 2% discount by December 31st of each year or with a discount by January 31st of each year. All taxes imposed by this section which are not paid before January 31st shall be deemed delinquent and shall be subject to a penalty of 6% and shall bear interest at the rate of 6% per annum. Section 3, the city of Leitchfield, Kentucky shall have a lien for taxes upon any and all property subject to the tax imposed by this ordinance, which lien shall be superior to all encumbrances prior to or subsequent. All monies collected pursuant to this ordinance shall be paid to the general fund of the city to be used for the payment of proper expenditures as determined by the city council. Section C, on or about April 1st of each year, the city clerk treasurer shall prepare a list of all outstanding unpaid tax bills within the city and shall properly call such list showing the name of each delinquent taxpayer, the number of the tax bill, and the amount due to be published in the newspaper having the largest circulation in the county. Said publication shall indicate that a fee in the sum of $5 for each time the delinquent list is published shall be added to the amount owed on each delinquent tax bill. Section the city clerk treasurer is hereby directed to send a copy of this ordinance to the commissioner of the Kentucky Department of Revenue, Frankfort, Kentucky. Section 5, this ordinance shall take effect upon its passage and publication according to law. And this would require a vote tonight, and it'd be a single vote.
Okay. Thank you, Earlene. You want to have any questions on that ordinance? If not, I'll entertain a motion to.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Clayton.
Hold up, make a motion for what? Finish it.
We're making a motion to have a roll call,
To have a
I
roll
suppose.
No, I just wanted.
You were making a motion to accept.
Accept
Right, that's what I
the
wanted to
ordinance.
say,
roll
what
call.
you were gonna.
To accept, yeah, this, what she just read. Okay. Is that a second? Anybody second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Roll
Now
call.
we'll do
Roll call. Roll call.
Okay.
Aye.
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 All right, thank you, guys. Okay, second and final reading of ordinance relating to RZ-23-120-201 Mill Street, change from B1 Neighborhood Business to C1 Highway Commercial. Okay.
An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located at Litchfield, Kentucky is hereinafter described from B-1 Neighborhood Business to C-1 Highway Commercial, whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on August 14, 2023 held a public hearing on application number RZ-23-120. The property is currently owned by Deidre Davis and is designated as property having a PVA number 083-09-19-007, being more particularly described in Deed Book 328, page 65, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 201 Mill Street, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asked for a change from a B-1 Neighborhood Business to C-1 Highway Commercial. And whereas city council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference. And now therefore be it ordained by the city of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district as shown on district map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky, being the same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof. It's fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission. dating 8/15/2023 to the Litchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Property description, refer to property description PVA number 083-09-19-007, deed book 328, page 65. Records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office and being located at 201 Mill Street, Litchfield, Kentucky, 42754. Now zoned C-1 Highway Commercial after the adoption of this ordinance. This ordinance shall be in full force and effect following publication as required by law. This ordinance or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith are repealed to the extent of such conflicts, given a second reading and duly enacted by the legislative body of the City of Litchfield, Kentucky on the 5th day of September 2023 after having first been read on the 21st day of August. So we'll need a motion, a second, and a roll call vote.
Make a motion.
Motion by Tootie. Second. Clayton.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, second and final reading of ordinance relating to RZ-23-121, 161 Hanging Rock Road, changed from I-2 heavy industrial to R2 single family medium density.
An ordinance amending and adopting an amended zoning map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky by changing the district classification of the property located in Litchfield, Kentucky as hereinafter described from I-2 heavy industrial to R-2 single family medium density. Whereas the Litchfield Planning Commission of Litchfield, Kentucky on August 14th, 2023 held a public hearing on application RZ-23-121. The property is currently owned by Eula Lucas Estate, Larry Winchell executor, and is designated as property having a PVA number 082-00-00-024. Being more particularly described in Deed Book 256, page 73, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 161 Hanging Rock Road, Litchfield, Kentucky. The request asks for a change from an I-2 heavy industrial to R-2 single family medium density. And whereas City Council members conducted a review of the record and evidence presented before the Litchfield Planning Commission, and its recommendation is that the zoning map amendment be approved as affects this property. Its recommendation is attached and incorporated herein by reference, and now therefore be it ordained by the City of Litchfield, Kentucky as follows. Boundaries of the district as shown on district map entitled Zoning Map Litchfield, Kentucky, be and same is hereby amended for reasons adopted, all of which is made a part hereof. It's fully set out herein, including the rezoning request from the Planning Commission dated 8/15/2023 to the Litchfield City Council. So the property is described as follows. Property description, refer to property description PVA number 082-00-00-024, Deed Book 256, page 73, records of the Grayson County Clerk's Office, and being located at 161 Hanging Rock Road, Litchfield, Kentucky, 42754, now zoned R-2, single family medium density after the adoption of this ordinance. I need a motion and a second and a roll call.
I'll make a motion that we accept the second and final reading of the ordinance relating to 161 Hanging Rock Road.
Okay.
I'll second.
Second by Billy. All in favor? Oh, roll call, I'm sorry.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thanks, guys. The next item on the agenda, after some discussion this afternoon, Lori and I talked, and I don't think there is any further action that we need to do on this right now. There are some other players in such as tourism and all that in the mix possibly. So I don't think it's really necessary for us to have any discussion on that right now, because there's really not anything that we haven't already talked about and voted on to discuss. So we'll skip over that item if everybody's good with that. Unfinished business, code enforcement amended ordinance for condemned property. Arlene?
I'm still working on that.
Still working on that? Okay. Pay classification grades update. Lori?
Just to kind of give you all a brief update, tourism did approve in their meeting to go ahead and adopt that. It will be on the commission meeting for Thursday evening for them to adopt. And once they approve that, then I will get back with the personnel committee and we'll have our we'll probably have at least one, probably 2 meetings to get everything finalized before we do another reading of the ordinance, so we make sure we get everything in there.
Did you say tourism or utilities?
Tourism approved it their last meeting. The
Okay.
utilities will, is
Thursday.
on there.
Okay,
Thursday,
that's where I
yes.
got confused. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions for Lori on that? Okay, discussion of reviewing ordinance every 5 years. I think Denny has mentioned he looked at that as KRS, it requires it every 5 years.
Our ordinance requires it to be reviewed
Our
every 5
ordinance
years.
does, okay.
And I think it's something we probably need to get started on, maybe when it gets a little bit cooler though.
I know
Not
last
during the
meeting,
day.
we talked about forming committees. Did you all think any more about that? Did you want to form committees to do books like 1 through 4? I know that was one of the things we kind of talked about and told everybody to think about how we wanted to proceed with this, so
There are 9 books total, is that right?
there's
Lori?
9 books total.
I think it would be good if we actually involve the departments and that the ordinance directly relate to those departments. For example, whoever works with Wesley and the different avenues of public works, for those committees to actually work with Wesley on the ordinances that deal with public works.
Oh, I
because-
totally agree with that.
Because,
think
I
they
mean,
need to
who
be
else is
involved.
better to tell us if it needs to be changed or not than the ones that it directly impacts? The same with utilities, the same with animals in the animal shelter, police department. So instead of us just randomly taking chunks of it, maybe our different committees could take the sections of the ordinances that pertain to the committees that they're on, and that would be a starting point, because we're not gonna be able to tackle it all at one time anyway.
No, yeah, no, it's gonna be a long process, and I'm fine with however you all wanna do it, but ultimately, that's up to you all how you wanna do it, because, I mean, that's part of the duties of the council is to update those, so I'm comfortable with however you all wanna do it. I totally agree, they need to be updated, and they all need to be gone through with a fine tooth
So is that
comb.
something that,
I agree with you on that, Terry. I think though, your committees, pick one, we'll pick one, then we're working on 2 components at one time.
yeah, I
But you
think that,
meet with the people that it impacts.
are you all in agreement with that?
Yeah, it's gonna take all of us.
Oh, I
You-
know,
you're
but
not
I mean,
gonna
that's
get
a
it.
starting
No.
point.
Yeah,
Breaking it apart, for example.
I understand.
The public works or the utilities part.
I understand.
I mean, we're all gonna have to work with, from the utilities
And-
aspect
and I'm sure
of
there's
it,
gonna
the
be some
way-
questions that we can't get answered
Yeah,
until we
we-
find.
I
I
think
mean,
probably
there's-
a good idea is maybe to map it out and divide it out that way, like personnel's gonna get a huge chunk. And I'll have to kind of be an overseer, review everything to make sure the KRSs are up to date.
Right.
And case law and so forth, so, if we could if I could sit down maybe with the mayor and us do a map and assign it out, and we could either assign it to the committees, or we could do like ad hoc committees of the one side, take the,
I
So-
really like the fact that we're already in committees and we're already working with the
Mm-hmm.
different departments, and, I think that would probably work out
yeah.
pretty
And I think
well
there's-
anyway, since we,
Yeah.
I mean, to begin with.
Yeah, and there's probably gonna be some miscellaneous that we're just gonna have to, at the end.
Absolutely.
cut
Right.
out,
Divvy out, yeah.
But I think as a starting point, to take those and divide them out that way.
Okay. Well, I'll get with Arlene when she's available, and we'll start breaking it down into areas that we think this should be here, this should be here, and then we'll get with everyone and try to work on scheduling something. Okay. Any other unfinished business, Billy?
No.
Terry?
I don't really think it's unfinished business, but it's old business.
Okay.
Can I throw that in
That
there?
would be the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I didn't really register until Mr. Penner was up here talking about the total amount of garbage and trash and everything that's there, and the pollution aspect of it. And it's not only air, it seeps down into the ground, it goes to water. But a few weeks ago, we were talking about, what we recycled and taking it to A to Z, and then you had mentioned, briefly just shot out there, we could bid it out again. I know that because we are not recycling anymore, yes, we do have the drop-off. I'm gonna be honest, I don't utilize it. I should, but I don't. And my big blue trash can, for just 2 people living there, it is full, and I break down my boxes. But it shouldn't be full. So when I think about the amount of trash that just my household has, and then we distribute that amongst just the city of Litchfield residents, recycling is a big part of that. I mean, things that could be recycled are not being recycled. So could we look at, and I even back in the summer, I looked at different cities who were still recycling, and I found that there were many cities who had stopped their city recycling curbside pickup. However, they're now outsourcing it. They're going through different companies, the same with their garbage. But a lot of them, even the ones who are not outsourcing their trash, are outsourcing recycling at a curbside. I really think that we need to start looking more into trying to revitalize our recycling program. It's not going to eliminate the issue that Mr. Penner has to deal with, but it will greatly reduce the amount of trash, garbage that's put on the trucks who we already have contracted to come pick it up. I don't know by how much, but I know it would be a significant difference.
It would be some, yeah. In most places, if they, to bid out your recycle, they want your garbage also, because they won't make any money on recycling, but they will on the garbage. I think, did me and you, Harold, did we talk to Republic even about this once before? And they were open to doing the curbside recycling, but they wanted the garbage aspect of it too. Because they would make the money off the garbage, and, you know, that recycle would just be, he'd send one truck through and they pick up everything in one truck, and, you know, and then it goes to a sorting facility, which we don't have a sorting facility to be able to do that. So, you know, and we can try to see if we can find some companies that would bid out the recycling.
You know, while we're at it, could we get a couple of bids, maybe just bid out the recycling? And then if you're gonna look at possibly outsourcing it, could we also look at possibly outsourcing, just getting estimates, we're just getting bids, we're not committing to anything, but a lot of the rates of these outsourced trash pickups were considerably lower than what our residents pay.
Yeah, and I think, Laura, I may be wrong on that, but if we outsource or bid out the garbage, since we furnish the cans to the ARPA money, would we have to redo something with that?
We would have to look into that, Wesley.
Yeah, since we use that for the cans that we purchase for the residents, so there's an aspect of it too that we would
I
have
think
to
it's
engineer.
definitely worth looking into.
Yeah.
So can we look into getting different bids from recyclers first? Re-
Sure can.
And the people that I've spoken with, the other companies that do the garbage haul off, like the problems we're having over here, they do all the services too. You know, they've offered to do curbside pickup for garbage, for recycling, for different things. So we can reach out to them again. I get emails from them often wanting to do business with us, but we're in a contract with Ohio County, so we
would still have to have a transfer station though, with people bringing stuff in.
If you source it out, will they still bring it to our transfer station and dump it?
They would want the transfer station also.
Yeah.
For us to lease that to them and let them use it.
Well, then let's start with recycling.
Or something like that. I mean, there's a lot that they're gonna want,
Yeah.
because they're gonna have to make their money to keep their prices low.
And then we don't have no say-so at the transfer station.
And if
So,
they,
there's a lot of issues, but yeah, we can start with recycle. You know, I'll reach out to a couple of guys that I know that do recycle and, you know, see if they'd be interested.
Do we even still have a recycling truck?
Yes.
The truck that,
We don't use it much. I mean, we still use it if we have to, but we don't use it that often. I mean, we're still doing cardboard mostly. We run that route every day. But the rest of it's just drop off.
and
So you are recycling cardboard?
Yes.
you're going around to all the businesses that you went to prior to,
Yeah, and they may not
The
get them all
shutdown.
in one day now because the businesses are so much more than what we had. But, because it's grown the same as with garbage. But, within the week's time, they've reached every business that we've had before. So, you I don't know exactly right off, but it's quite a bit that we take in a day's time of just cardboard, which that saves it from going to the landfill too.
It does.
But most of our problems with our smell is, I mean, you got restaurants. You know, you put all these restaurants all the way down both sides here that comes in there, it's a transfer station, and it stays for a day or so. It does smell bad. But I don't know how to,
How do you take the smell out of garbage?
I don't know how to do that yet.
Move it quicker?
Is lime an option?
I mean, that helps if it doesn't lay there, but still, you know, if you dump a truck out of nothing but what we pick up at the restaurants, you know, Captain D's, all of them, just scooping it, it smells bad. I mean, and that does leave some residue there.
And I think that's what he hit on when you start stirring, when you start moving it around, that's when you,
Yeah. I mean, and it has smelled like that for, I've been here 26 years, so that's how long it's smelled like that, so. I don't know any way of getting the odor down from what it is. It's always gonna smell like garbage.
Can we look at recycling again?
Yes. We got switched over, I'm sorry, but.
That's okay.
Yes, I will reach out, try to find you something out on recycling.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Anything else, Terry?
No, that's all I have.
Judy?
No, sir.
Clay?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Danny? Lori? Early?
No.
Wes? David? Tyler? Scotty? All right. We're going to new business. Billy?
well, Tyler and I have been picking through ordinances and looking through ordinance, and 153.135 is B2 Central Business District ordinance. And it's got a requirement on the height of a building in the city limits, and that would be 34 feet, 2-story. So I'm sure that was made back when the fire department didn't have a ladder truck or whatever, but I just want to let y'all in, that's what Tyler and I have been looking at, and he's got to bring it in front of them, of the planning and zoning committee, and have a hearing and things like that, but, and we'll get recommendations on how high we think we need to be. That would be for that and C1 commercial. Now, industrial is 70 feet in our ordinance. It's topped out. So 34 feet would be, it says 34 feet or 2 stories
Is the maximum.
is the max on the height. Yeah, evidently Parkland Manor and places like that were grandfathered in before we had the ordinance.
Even the old judicial building.
Yeah, judicial building, just like the judicial building is built here in our city, or I guess it's, county owns the land, but it's still in our city, that they're a little tall.
It's 2 stories.
So I guess we have to either amend or get with you, Arlene.
Yeah.
After Tyler brings it to the planning and zoning committee to do it, but it's 153.135 in our ordinance. Tyler, you want to add anything?
I just think, like, was talking about, if we want to see some sort of growth, we need to amend these ordinances that have been in here for 20-plus years. You know, hotels and things coming in, you restrict them down to 2 stories. That'll probably turn some of them away. So I think if we look at just these 2 business districts and let them have a little more leniency, you know, we don't want to go as high as 70 feet like industrial, but if we can go at least 3 stories, that'd be some change.
And I'll get with Timmy tonight, or our fire chief tonight, and I don't think, we got a truck that goes up to 105 feet now ordered, okay? We got one out there now that's 85 feet, so.
Right.
So to me.
I don't think it's a problem, but it was, that zoning was probably developed then,
Yeah.
when we didn't have that to do. But that's all I have, Mayor, just a heads up on what's coming from Tyler. And
Okay, thank you. Terry, new business?
Wesley, is the city participating in any way with the Touch a Truck? I know in the past, hadn't you had trucks?
We have in the past, but I haven't contacted yet for this one to see.
It's this Saturday. Could we do something?
Who's in charge of that? Is it
Uh,
still Jamie?
Jamie?
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, that's who the contact person was on the
Used to be fair.
Check with her.
William.
Yeah, I might have a truck.
Still is.
It's hard to
Still
get
is.
garbage trucks clean enough to let kids touch them.
Don't we have semis? Don't we have a semi?
Yeah, it's on Saturday though, isn't it?
Yeah.
What's it? Claw truck? It was out there last year or four
What about the
picking up.
recycling truck?
They picked up stumps
The
out there in front of
recycling
it.
truck,
Boom. So we may have a couple, but I'll.
Yeah, they have in the past.
that's all I have.
I had talked to her earlier, and she was gonna call and make contact with Wes and some of them, so I hadn't heard any more, but I wondered about it when I saw it on Facebook advertised, so. Okay. Anything else, Terry?
No, that's all.
Tootie, new business? No, sir. Clayton?
No, sir.
Gina?
No, good.
Danny?
No, sir.
Arlene?
Just on the food bank coming tonight, there's some information in your packet, and it cites some case law, and it says, and also some attorney general opinions. So I will look those all up and include those and email them out to everybody to look at, just with kind of a breakdown of what my legal opinion is on that, so.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is that all, Arlene?
That's it.
Wes? David?
No, sir.
Tyler?
No, sir.
Thank you, guys. Other business, if we look down through here, the next chamber luncheon is September 14th. Please let Lori know no later than noon on Monday, September 11th, if you plan to attend. There will be a chamber breakfast on Thursday, September 28th at 8 a.m. Please let me, Lori, know by September 25th if you plan to attend. The annual chamber dinner is scheduled for September 21st from 5 to 8 at Heavenly View Event Venue. Please let Lori know as soon as possible if you plan to attend, as we only have 8 spots available, and those are, you about got those filled up, don't you?
I've already turned the spots back over, but I think we've got everybody that wanted to go. I think Billy and Cindy and Gina and Denny, was you signed? I couldn't remember if you signed up or not. Clayton and Ruby, got you and Becky and me and Jeremy, so, and Arlene's gone.
Anything else, guys? If not, I'll take a motion, entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion.
Clayton.
Second.
Second by Tootie, all in favor?
Aye.